Did you notice there's mustard in this one?
Let's begin. We'll call it to order. Let's have a roll call.
Chairman Bunnett,
Here.
Commissioner Sotis Little,
Here.
Commissioner Rettenbach.
Here.
Thank you. Okay, we'll do the pledge of allegiance in a moment of silence. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So now we have approval of the minutes from May 16th.
And on the minutes, there is one part, page 3, under discussion items, and I think we just need to insert a word, because I'm pretty sure, remind me, but I think we were talking about telemedicine, but it doesn't say what we were talking about. It says Commissioner Sotis Little said she already talked with Messias about that once the internet works, there are a few grants or trainings to bringing forward once we know it will work.
Yep, we were talking about telemedicine.
So I think we just need to insert that once the internet works, there are a few grants or trainings, there are a few grants, I've scratched training. There are a few grants for telemedicine that we can apply for or whatever. Yeah, that's what was really being said.
Any other changes?
I didn't see it.
Accept and abstain as amended.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Now we have so then approval of the agenda.
Yeah, I have a late addition, and it was brought to my attention. This is only our second meeting this year, and our first meeting, by board rules, we're supposed to elect the chairman of this committee. We did not do that.
Oh. Okay, so do you want to change for chair or not? We'll add that to
Yeah,
this
I
number one
was
item.
asking that if we could add that, to
Yeah.
make that official.
We'll do that as what?
No one-
A,
1A.
1A?
No one thought about that.
Well, that would be 1, and then budget would be 1A.
Okay. Perfect.
Okay, so do we move to have the agenda as amended?
I'll move that the agenda be approved as amended.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes. So now we have public comment.
Ty West from Newport. I'm a member of ShareCare and a member of ARP. And I like what ShareCare and Senior Services have been doing to take care of seniors in our county. But I'd like us to think about going the next step and become an ARP designated senior-friendly county. So when you come into the county on M22, there's a sign that indicates that we meet the criteria for being a senior-friendly county. It opens up some grant opportunities for us, I think, and it would just seem to me like it might be something to explore as a county. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment?
No, just
All right.
looking forward to 2020.
We'll move on to the action item. The first thing is to elect a chair of the.
I would nominate Will Bonnick as chair of the committee.
Are you willing to continue, Will Bunnick, who has
Sure.
been stuck doing this forever?
Yeah, it's not stuck. I'm happy to do it.
Okay, I'll second the nomination.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes 3-0. All right, so now we're on to the budget.
Okay, I put the latest budget. Are you helping?
Yep.
Oh, so,
You want to marry? No?
No, I'm waiting for the 2020.
Okay.
so we are doing very well. We are under on most line items. You know, it's always, and from year to year, I feel like there's a change or a shift in the focus or needs that we're seeing. You know, last year we had a huge need of respite care and personal care. This year, we've had a number of seniors that no longer require respite care, but we've had an uptick in seniors requiring or needing assistance with homemaking. So, so we're seeing some shifts in that way, and that is something that, you know, every year is different. And so we're just trying to address those as they come up. This summer we've had I think we're seeing more families that have come to us and looking for guidance or assistance and ensuring that their loved ones are getting the support they need to remain in their homes. So we're seeing more of that, and we're seeing more families that maybe have the financial means to provide services, but they don't know where to go to, or they need that assistance or someone to sit down with them and do an assessment to determine, you know, where they're at and where they need to go or move towards. So I feel like we're reaching another area of the population, which is exciting for us. That we're really, I feel like we're getting out there. People feel comfortable. They're coming to us for good support. So
Excellent.
so that's about it in regards to the budget.
I keep thinking back to 2 years ago, how many meetings we had on the budget, how we had to make some difficult choices, I think, 2 years ago, but I'm convinced we have a much stronger and healthier program since we went through that process. We don't have a waiting list, we have a nurse in place,
Yeah.
we have a millage in place, and I think it's a much stronger program.
I do too, and I also think it's, you know, with the expansion that April brought in terms of the concept of how to serve and the relationship with Share Care really has expanded services. It's been a huge help.
Once again, I will publicly thank Kathy Hartsfield when she filled in for April 2 years ago. That was a tough situation. She was dealing with her personal issues. We were dealing with a budget issue that we knew we couldn't go on the way we were. And we got through it, and I think for the better. I think that was our dark night, and we've gone forward. The sun came up, and we're in much better shape. And we have no waiting list.
Well, it's truly amazing when somebody offers up their job, you know, to make things work. That's just a touching thing to me.
So going on to number 2? Is
Yes.
that- Okay,
Yeah.
so I think, you know, we've developed a collaborative relationship with Share Care, and so we've contracted with them for a nurse, and so the nurse has been doing our assessments, in-home assessments for those that are receiving in-home services, and then also for those families that are coming to us that maybe they may not need the financial assistance, but they need that extra support, and so she's been very helpful in being able to do that, offer those assessments for the family, and connecting with seniors. I think I'm always amazed, like, having that medical, that nursing background and what she can bring forward, and what I can bring forward as a social work background, together, how we make a great team. And so we've been able to provide some great services.
That's really important.
So that's really something sort of new, having with the nurse, and so you can get, that is true.
And that's
It's a whole different-
directly linked to the millage increase.
Right.
That didn't happen
Yeah.
last year.
Right.
Yeah,
We couldn't have offered this service, so
Exactly.
if people ask, why would for increase, this is exactly
Yes.
the point. Why it was critical. We couldn't have done it with the former millage rate and continue the programs and stay within budget.
Because it looks like we're right on budget.
Yeah.
We're at about 45%, and we're halfway through the year.
Yeah.
So it's
And considering what the public comment was with ARP, do you know anything about making partnerships with them, or have you ever?
So I have done quite a bit of research in looking into the ARP age-friendly
That's actually on the
designation.
agenda.
Yep, so we can talk about that if you want to wait.
Oh, that's next on the agenda.
Oh, next on,
Or-
okay, yeah.
I'm not sure which one.
Oh, yes, next, so.
I was
it's
just
up, yeah.
talking in
So
relationship to
yeah,
partnerships.
so years ago, there was a committee like an age-friendly committee that was initially started by League of Women Voters, and so there was a group of individuals that were working on, and that's kind of, we were thinking, like, where the collaboration between Share Care and I think a lot of those initial discussions came out of that group. But then we also touched on, the ARP is the age-friendly, but then there's also, and that is, so ARP is for the whole nation, a designation, and it uses the World Health Organization's standards. And then the state of Michigan also has their own version of that called Communities for a Lifetime. And Area Agency on Aging is a big supporter of that one. And so I think that committee did look at both of those designations, and at that time it was more than what the group was willing to take on. There's a lot involved in completing to get that designation. A lot, depending on which one you go through, there's you would have to involve townships, and you're looking at municipalities and the villages, and because it's looking at not only like services like what we provide, but it's also looking at the physical environment as well. And so there's a lot involved in that. And I have 2 copies that I printed off years ago. I mean, I didn't make one for everybody, but if you're interested, those are kind of the outline of those.
So what would be the benefit? What's it, outside having a sign, is there potential benefits, programs? Ty mentioned that we may be eligible for grants if we do this.
There are, yeah. So with ARP, I have not done, that was a while ago that I really went in depth, but I know that both organizations, I think there are grants available to work on getting that designation in place, or doing any work that has to be done to meet the qualifications. I think there are, you would be eligible for some other grants moving forward with ARP. I don't know, I have not done, as of this year, I have not looked in depth as to what that would be.
Do you think this is worth pursuing?
These are some stringent requirements.
They're very stringent, yeah. There's a lot, I think like Traverse City has the designation for, I think they have, I don't know if they did ARP, but they have the Communities for a Lifetime is my understanding. So I think all these individuals, they came together and they got the designation, but then nothing took place afterwards.
Well, that's it, yeah. Is it just a feel-good thing? I hate for you to spend a lot of time and energy on something that has really no impact on your program.
I don't think it would really have an impact on the work my department does. I think it would be, a very good feel-good thing, and it may open up possibilities for other grants. But I'm not willing, I don't know for sure, so I don't want to say that or not.
I have a comment, as I could recall it. I think that one benefit, not necessarily to get a designation, but to take a look at some of the guidelines, is to raise awareness among building inspectors and zoning administrators and contractors on how much opportunity there is out there to renovate housing for seniors. As I recall, I interviewed the village manager of Sutton's Bay, and he was talking about so many houses in Sutton's Bay, seniors can't get in and out of them easily. And those are the kinds of things that you probably don't need age-friendly designation to really push.
Yeah.
Right.
The first thing that I noticed on here, cycle paths are separate from pavements and other pedestrian walkways. Well,
and then that was another thing when I did the research, is that a lot of it is based on like a city, and so there were challenges. I did talk to a representative from ARP about, okay, well, we're a very rural area, so a lot of what's, the qualifications are geared more towards an urban area, and there, at that time, there was only one other county that had done the whole county. And so there were some challenges, and if we want to do the whole county, what does that involve? And that,
this Community for a Lifetime, we have practically what their goals are. Their first goal is has people, structures, and process in place for assessing current conditions, planning for improvements, and evaluating progresses, and accomplishing them. That's what your office does. It has residents have access to and assistance using technology. Almost all of our libraries do that. Emergency assistance with basic needs is available, and our emergency team is very on that. And the last one is older adults have easy access to information and can get connected to services if they have a specific need. I can see why you said that this one might be
I think.
A little easier too.
That one, I think at this time would be a little easier to meet the qualifications as opposed to the ARP.
Well, would it make sense
version.
that you explore these and maybe our next
Yep.
meeting, you come back and
Yeah, I
tell
can
us
do that.
what you think?
Yeah.
Because it sounds like you really have not done much research, right? You just know general concepts.
I did a lot of research a couple years ago,
Yeah.
but I think there's been a lot of changes as well, so,
Yeah,
yeah.
and I
We don't want to
know-
we don't want to make it more difficult for us or our seniors, but if that one is
Yeah.
more in line with what we're doing, then.
Well,
let's start
thank you,
with
because I was
that.
going to think the same thing, if it makes sense. But once they, and I hate for here to spend hours filling out all these forms to get a plaque that say we're
Right.
senior friendly. What does that mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even like with the construction, I know a lot of seniors who, not through your program, can't find anyone to do any work in the house. You know, everyone's busy.
Right.
It's not that they don't want to.
Yep.
My mom has a neighbor that's been trying to get some small things done. He can't find anyone that wants to do it because it's too small projects. I mean, and that's, a lot of it is
Yep.
the truth, yeah.
Yeah.
You just can't find people to take on those.
Small things.
I thought it'd be great, just right off topic, but if I was a contractor, I would just focus on those type of small projects. I think you'd be swamped. I
Super
know the profit
handyman.
ratio's not
Yeah,
there.
it's-
That's the problem.
There's a reason it doesn't.
Yeah,
happen,
because
I'll
it's,
tell you.
because of the profit, right?
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
You can work at one job for 4 weeks
Right.
and be guaranteed, and your crew guaranteed, and have a profit, or you can take on 10 jobs and go from job to job and
Well, and
try to
they're
coordinate
taking
them.
jobs now
Yeah.
that are all time and material, and so you can't lose.
Yeah.
You know, why would you go to something that they want to bid and they don't have the money?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
but they really need a lot more done than they even want, they're talking to you about.
Yeah.
Right.
Just to follow through on the ARP thing though, I mean, if you could make one phone call and just find out if getting a plaque like that means that we have to have all these things on our checklist, or if we can just get the plaque.
It's like you buy the college degree, you know, you look at the back of the
Yeah, I
newspaper.
mean it like that, by telling them what we're already doing.
We'll tell you what.
Didn't get to finish my sentence.
Let me go to trophy trolley, you come up with the word deed, and I'll get a plaque. How's that?
I don't know if that would satisfy Commissioner Wessel, but,
Yeah,
You know,
yes, I will go
right?
in depth and
If we
find out.
don't
more.
need to have the, the checklist completed, then that's my point.
Okay.
I'm sorry for being sarcastic.
Thank
I will
you.
We'll be
find-
glad
I
to
will
get
find
you-
out.
I did not have an easy time in this last meeting, as you recall.
We'll get you, I'll be glad to get you a plaque, though, we can get a plaque for April.
Okay, I do want to talk. oh.
Okay, go ahead, were there other
Oh.
partnerships that you want to
Yeah,
talk about?
I would like, I have, in my budget for 2020, I put in there to have a contract with Beta. I would like to even maybe have a contract beginning at the end of this fall, and looking at, our department paying for rides for seniors that are 60 years of age or older. They would have to prove residency with Beta, but Beta would invoice us for any senior that has a ride. To try to address transportation. There's a challenge with seniors accessing transportation to medical appointments or the grocery store, those type of things. And Beta has done a great job in trying. They've added some. I sit on a committee for seniors, and they have added some routes with the hope of servicing more. They added a loop here, but I know that like in Traverse City, the Grand Traverse Commission on Aging, they have a coast bus, which is a senior bus that they pay for as a bus. And any senior can ride that bus. I don't think that's a wise use of money for Leelanau County to pay for a specific bus, but I guess I would like to explore the option of paying for the ride.
Can you get vouchers like you do for other programs?
So, yeah, so they would have like a specific card that was made for a Leelanau County senior, and they would have to just prove their residency with their driver's license, and they would be given a card, and then so when they use that card, they would be able to tally, and they would send us an invoice for the transportation. In looking at, I asked them just to give me an idea of how many rides currently seniors are using, and they said on average for a year, generally, if you calculate anybody who's a senior, it was around $10,000. And so I wanted your input though before proceeding, and see what your thoughts were.
It sounds like a great idea, and going back to the budget, would you think that there's room for that in the current budget?
There is, and then also we had a changing in my staffing, a reduction, and so there's some additional dollars that could be allocated as well. But I did budget for transportation, and there's still quite a bit of money left in that transportation line item.
Just sounds like it would be a lot easier for the seniors to access it through Beta that way than what we're currently trying to.
And I just think it's another option. I think we would still use volunteers to provide, that for those that have challenges getting in, the bus isn't for everyone, and I recognize that, that some would still need to use a vehicle to get in and out. And there is some that would still require having like Munson to transport a wheelchair. But I think it would give encouraging other people to access transportation in another way.
So it's not working with the volunteers, or?
No, it
'cause
is.
I thought with Share Care. you
No,
did-
it is. We usually do, with Share Care and our volunteers, we do strictly medical.
Okay.
Yep, so we
So
have
you're
not.
talking groceries
I'm
and-
talking yes, so we have
Oh.
seniors that have difficulty navigating, getting to the grocery store, or just be able to go somewhere for a social outing. With volunteers, you're limited to how many rides you can do in that way. So this would be another option to
So you
encourage.
do door to door, they pick them up to their door, take them, and then bring
There'd be
them back?
different, yeah, so Beta has a variety of different programs. So I mean, yes, in some cases, they would be able to pick them up and take them directly door to door. Other ways, they might pick them up and take them to the transfer station where they could transfer and they could go, to another bus, depending on where they were looking to go.
So it still is dealing with the isolation problem of seniors, encouraging them to get out and be
Yes.
involved and
Yeah.
be healthy.
Yeah. I'm still looking, I guess I'm trying to be proactive and encouraging them to remain as independent as possible and looking at options. I think it's going to be a continual challenge as we have more and more seniors.
And I think that helps those seniors who know they're probably at the point where they should give up that driver's license, but it limits them.
I
This
know.
is an option to help
Yeah.
them ease that transition.
I know we have, I have a number of seniors right now that live in the Glen Arbor area that they have a vehicle, but the vehicle is an older vehicle, and it's a continual challenge to the upkeep of that vehicle.
Or in the
so-
winter.
In the winter, yep.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so, they'll call upon us for medical transportation, but then they're struggling with, okay, my car's not working today, but I need to get to the grocery store, or I would like to do this as a social thing to get out. And so the Beta bus, they try to use that to the best of their ability. So it would just be, I think, something that we could really promote and work with.
I think
Great
that's a great
idea.
idea, yeah. It would really fill a need from a lot of different standpoints.
So yeah, look into that.
Okay,
Well, as Peachy said, it's just another option for them.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't think there's a one-size-fits-all model
Mhm.
for everybody, but it would, I think, give another, support.
And I guess were you thinking it would be a voucher, or what would it just be, an account with Beta?
It would be
or-
like an account with Beta, so they would have a specific card for Leelanau seniors.
So you would come up with it, or they would?
They
come
would
up?
create a card that's specific for a senior, a Leelanau
And
County
there
senior.
wouldn't, there wouldn't be any kind of means testing then?
No, this would be anybody that could use
It'd be
it.
sort of universal?
It would be a universal, but it would be strictly for seniors.
I'm guessing most of them would be lower income.
Probably, and I did ask that question, obviously, they don't do means testing, but there's a lot of people with disabilities, that are seniors that use the bus, and so, I imagine there are quite a few people that are using it that are lower income.
But, I mean, anybody with a disability, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't think it would matter whether they had a disability or not.
Yeah.
If they wanted to
Yeah.
use it, they could use
Use
it.
it, yeah, yeah.
I mean, I know in New York City, like the New York Transit Authority, once you turn 65, you're automatically given a card. And it's, you pay for it, but it's a much lower rate. And
Discounted.
actually, no, maybe it's free even. Maybe it could be free.
Mhm.
Maybe the city's paying for it.
Well, someone's paying for it.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's something good to explore. That'd be a good idea, yeah.
Okay.
Does anybody,
Oh, no, I think it's a very good idea.
Okay. So if I explore with them, would you be open to me coming before you with a contract, like in October or November?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
is there anything else in with
No,
the
I just.
partnerships?
No, that was it. Well, actually, just so you're aware, we have contracts with obviously a number of vendors, and all of them are expiring at the end of this year. So I will be coming before you to renew all those contracts. So, just so you're aware of that.
So just group them all together so we can have that one.
So are you asking the board to bypass the bid policy, or are you gonna go off the bids?
I'm asking to bypass the bid policy. I've been very happy currently with our vendors that are providing services.
I think, and I'm thinking top of my head here, I think in those contracts, didn't we put a clause right up front that you'd have the right to extend the contracts? Or the county has the
I
right to
thought
extend
that's,
them?
we did that.
To
we don't
prevent
have-
that, yeah, I thought we put that.
Maybe, okay, but I know specifically, I looked at the contracts, I'll have to look more closely, but they all have an end date.
Yeah, I know we did that, but I think.
We have renewal.
A renewal,
I think
I
it's-
think you can renew them once or twice or
Yeah,
something.
I
think
thought we
that
put that in there
put
to
because we
avoid
got every time.
and give you flexibility,
Or
because
if we didn't,
Yeah.
we should put
Put
it in this time.
Okay, okay.
I thought we talked about Townsend.
I think we did, but I will
Take a
double,
look,
I will
yeah.
look and to verify
I know we
that.
talked about, I'm not sure if we passed it or not, you know.
Well, I
that's-
know we talked about Townsend, the legal counsel, about it, but we'll have to check.
Okay.
Would any of you be opposed to that? if we-
Oh, no, I think it's
Perfect clause to put in there.
time
if it's
saving
not
idea,
already.
and since April is satisfied with the service,
Right.
it makes sense.
And let's face it, these are unique services that you're not gonna get 100 bids coming
Right.
out.
Well,
It's a
it's
very
okay.
specific service
Yes,
that these
yes.
companies provide.
Those will be good partnerships too.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, absolutely.
Any others then, think of?
Not for partnerships, no, yeah.
So then, now we'll talk about the age-friendly communities.
I think we did
We
that.
did that.
Well, just in case there was any more.
Okay.
All right, then we'll move on to the 2020 millage.
At this time, I'm just proposing that we renew it at the same millage rate.
For 2 years or
for-
6 years? or-
I would like to still, I would like to do 2 years again,
Okay.
and to see where we're at. And if you asked me last year where I thought we'd be at this year, it's totally different. So I'd like a couple more years to see. Yeah.
Really, we've been in the mills for 1 year with the nursing and all these programs. It's only been a 1 year, so it's
Mhm.
difficult to really make a long-term
Adjustment.
judgment. And we're thinking, the voters were kind enough to allow us to have an increase last time. We've proven that I think it's money well spent.
Mhm.
But we're at the point where we have new programs and new ideas or expansion. We
Mhm.
want to continue, you can tell we're in good shape budget-wise. So let's continue. We don't be locked into a long-term rate. But we've both independently started talking about this, and we both came to the same conclusion. We're going to ask for the same millage rate for 2 years to give us more time to look at the data.
Right, and it actually does give you an increase anyway.
Because of it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the advantage, and I think that's why the road commission does it every 2 years as well. Because any increases in value in the county, they gain it automatically, rather than don't let the Headley amendment come
Right,
into effect.
come into effect, yeah.
And our millage for seniors is,
0.320.
that's what I thought.
And that is working, and that's,
It is,
Yeah.
yes.
And I think it's easier for the board this way. We don't have to go through the
right.
process we did last time about how much will be and
Mhm,
so
mhm.
forth. But I think, I'm guessing most board members will be pleased that we're keeping it the same. And so that won't happen until next year, but we just want you to know where we're
Right.
thinking.
It'll be for the November election next year.
Yes,
Probably August, yeah.
August, yeah, it'll be
August,
August.
oh, okay.
No, I
That's
think
the
August,
primary,
that's
yeah.
right.
But you are reporting, what you have been reporting shows great value for that
Yeah.
increase.
Mhm.
It's really provided some meaningful services that we needed and didn't have, so it's good.
I think we found that fine balance where it's cost effective, meeting our needs, and still flexibility if we need to make changes.
And serving more seniors.
And serving more seniors, yeah.
Yeah.
The needy seniors too.
But those
Yeah.
who are not also.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so I think it's a
Social
good balance, yeah.
Component, the volunteer program.
Yeah, I'm thinking about too, like the programs that we
Yeah.
did the means testing.
Right.
Well, and the Beta contract would be a
Yeah,
real
so-
addition,
Yeah.
for everybody.
But you also can point out that's another example how we have allocated the dollars.
Right.
Is there any other discussion on
I didn't have any.
this? Any board member comments?
I have just one, and that's a huge thank you to April and her staff. We, this past month of August, had an opportunity to avail ourselves of some services from the loan program and others, and I want to compliment you. Your staff was excellent to deal with and helpful in every way possible, so thank you.
Thank you.
Made a huge difference.
Good, good.
Anything else?
Any interaction that I've had with senior services in the past has always been so positive as well.
You have great staff.
I am very blessed.
Mhm.
I work with hardworking people that I feel it's a great honor to
And
serve.
you all enjoy working together.
Yes, we have a lot of fun.
And everybody has a lot of heart.
Yes, we do. Yeah, we do.
Any public comment?
Yeah, just two things. I thought it was really good discussion here. Have you had any need for people getting to physical therapy? Both my husband and my neighbors have almost a social group at the physical therapy south of South Bay and the one in Hanson's Plaza, but some people are struggling to get there.
I think that is a big challenge, because it's usually multiple rides
Yes.
a week, and like we usually will accommodate, we can only accommodate one ride, or ShareCare has a limit of how many rides they can do, so that is a challenge.
Yeah,
And I
it
don't-
might be an interesting conversation with those owners because
Oh,
they,
yeah.
people are seeing each other. They should probably be serving coffee over there because they're all
Well,
sharing.
that's where a beta program would
That's
be,
what I was
Right,
thinking.
right.
be very positive.
Yeah, and the other thing I thought relative to Beta with the new ownership of the Bay Theater, they might want to, Beta might want to tie in with the Bay Theater
Oh.
to have like senior rides to a matinee,
Mhm.
you know, periodically. It would be a nice
That's a great
service
idea.
in an area.
You mean rather than lunch or just as another
Well,
alternative?
Beta, thinking they could pick up seniors who might not want to go drive on their own to Suttons Bay,
Yeah.
particularly in the winter.
Or for.
To
Or the
drop
summer.
them off right in
Or
front of
summer,
the
or
movie.
summer, yes.
Or summer.
Or sorry,
Can't
because you have to walk a mile.
Drop them right off in
Well-
front of the movie
Yeah.
theater, and then they're there when the movie's over to pick them up and take them home.
Yeah.
It's getting so people don't want to go to Sutton's Bay, it's just like Traverse City.
Right.
Can't get through it.
Can't get through it.
Yeah.
right? Just two ideas, but, you know,
Okay.
I'm really supportive of anything we can do.
And another public comment.
Sure.
By the way, I did notice that the Leelanau Library now, they have a beta stop right there,
Mhm.
which is very nice.
Oh, good.
But ShareCare has their road rally coming up.
In October now, it's been postponed a month.
To October. And it just takes 2 people to have a car, or 4 people, they get up to 4 people, but it's one of the mystery, solve the clues and the puzzles to get through and earn the prizes. So I think they really need participation. Last time they weren't getting a lot yet, so anyone who is interested in a road rally, sign up.
Anything else? A motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All those in favor?
I seconded that.
Yeah. Okay.
Good job, Mr. Chairman.
Right.
Yeah.